Thank you to Chef for their generous donation as a YouTube member. If you would like to join them in their generosity, the link to become a YouTube member is in the description. Oh, your boy fucked up now, did he? Your boy fucked up. Your boy fucked up now. And you know what? He heard about it. He fucking heard about it. They fucking... Okay. So, I skipped the fucking glossary, and people were not happy. Not the least of which was Daddy Shiro, who decided to fucking rip me a new asshole on Twitter and guilt me to fuck. So, here we go. Special episode, probably gonna be a bit short. We're gonna read every bit of the glossary. All the shit that could possibly be in this, I'm gonna fucking read it. So here we go. Quality Bone Breaker. We already read this shit. By the way, I want to clarify, out of the fake rampage I'm fucking laying down here, I use the word shit very loosely. Like, generally, shit is used to describe something negatively. I'm not. This is one of my favorite visual novels of all time, right? Okay, so when I say shit, most often I mean stuff. Just a general something that exists. So, yeah, don't... If you hear me be like, oh, I can't wait to read this shit, like, I know it sounds really negative. It's not, I promise. But let's go over these stats. First of all, we already know from having read Cole's backstory with the fucking injury, the dude couldn't withstand 1 hour's worth of light training on just how to wield a throwing axe without having to go through medical treatment and being like permanently barred from doing that kind of shit ever again. So the fact that he has a 4 in strength, it makes sense on the surface. I would argue it's like a 1, but it depends on how close to D&D you're making these stats, because it depending on what set of rules you're using, if you go below a certain number, then it's like a negative modifier. So like, depending on the rule set, if you give Cole a 4 in strength, then any strength check you'd have to use would be like a -2 to whatever he rolls, or -3 even. So if you're using those kinds of rules, totally get it. If you're not using that kind of rules, give the fucker like a 1. He can barely fucking walk without breaking something. This dude is frail as shit. But no, he's a hyena. 24 years old, he is a bard, and he is an adventurer / mercenary. Dexterity 14, that makes sense. Constitution 6. Yeah, that kind of goes with the health situation. If he gets punched in the face, the fucker is down. Like, he ain't getting back up for a while. Intelligence 17, that is interesting, because my general understanding of the difference between intelligence and wisdom in terms of a D&D stat is intelligence is more so, like, no, wait, yeah, okay, so if I am correct, wisdom is something that helps for, like, street smarts and whatever, and then intelligence is, like, your book smarts. So you'd think he'd have a higher wisdom, but the fact that he has a natural magic kind of inclination, he would have to have good intelligence, because generally speaking, the way you wield your magic is through studying. You know, how you hone your magic, I should say. Charisma 18 makes total sense. This is a fucking bard. Like, you can't have a bard that sucks at charming a crowd. So that makes total sense. And who knows? Maybe there'll be some stuff that reveals later on the truth behind the rules of these stats. Maybe they're arbitrary. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't personally know Shiro's connection to D&D. By the way, I know I just said I was going to read everything. I already read the first part, so I don't need to read that again, but I'm going to read all the items, because apparently there's some illustrations, and apparently there's some descriptions, and I skipped over it because I honestly, like, okay, The loot, we know he got that from his dad. Cool. The loincloth. It's a loincloth. It is also of holding, which in D&D terms means there's basically like a pocket dimension in there where you can hold a fuck ton of shit. Arcane crystals, we already know what that is. Stolen ruby, we know eventually what that becomes, being malice. But I said I wouldn't skip, so I'm gonna fucking read it. Darkwood loot. There's the loot. Very cute. A finely crafted loot gifted to Cole by his father. The loot is built with the most durable hardwood that Axia can offer. Highly resistant to damage, it can be used to bash opponents unconscious while suffering little to no damage. That is good to know. Marrow says, if my boy's bard hobby doesn't work out, at least this loot will stay useful as a blunt instrument. Very fun. What about his loincloth? Do we know where that came from? Oh jeez, look at the little divot for his cheeks. A belt and loincloth scavenged together from the remains of a bag of holding. That's a very cool backstory. I like that. Because you can't just have a blank of holding, like you gotta explain where it came from. The interior is lined with pockets that can hold up to 115 pounds of goods and trinkets without weighing down the wearer. Love the holding. That concept is just fun in general. Cole usually fills it with snacks, lockpicks, and several decks of cards for cheating purposes. Yeah, I think I mentioned in the other video, I also carry a deck of cards. I only do it because I can get bored sometimes when I'm ootin' a boot where there's not internet access. But at the same time, there's also usually, if there's no internet access, not usually a big enough table to play solitaire. So I don't usually bust out the deck of cards very often. The loincloth also has the ability to hide the wearer's erection under all circumstances. Cole finds this feature particularly useful. That's very nice. Basically, every time he gets an erection, he's fucking a pocket dimension. Isn't that lovely? Arcane crystals, here we go. A handful of low-grade arcane crystals that Cole retrieved from a mission for Soul's arcane curiosities, but never bothered returning. These crystals are capable of absorbing weak spells and releasing them at a later time. Cole decided to hold on to them to satisfy his own fascination with magic. Nice, that makes sense. And the ruby. A ruby from Prince Cassius's own obsidian crown. I have no illusion, right, that Shiro put the name Cassius in here because of Adastra. It's just a coincidence as far as I am concerned. Also, it is fair to say that, like, it really needs to be acknowledged again that Shiro draws all of his shit. All of it is drawn by him. So anytime you're seeing like a picture, he doesn't do the backgrounds, unfortunately. He's good at backgrounds, but he just doesn't do them. I don't know why. It probably for a time thing. They do take a while. But yeah, for like all these illustrations here, it is worth noting, he draws all of this shit. So props to him. A ruby from the crown. Cole stole it during his mission to retrieve the crown alongside Artemy Gautier. The gem's interior glows with a sinister light. If gripped, one can almost feel the ruby pulse with a faint heartbeat. And we know that eventually turns into malice. But we wouldn't know that if I had done this at the beginning of the episode, but no. I got burned by fucking Hayseed Knight and their 9,000 years of encyclopedia. So I'm averse to this stuff if it could be figured out. Sid Shrikewood. He's a badger. He's 22 years old. He's a fighter and adventurer / unemployed? Question mark? If you're not paying taxes, are you really employed? Strength makes sense. He has that natural gifted strength. 19 though. 19! That's like, if you have a 19 on your stats at the beginning of an adventure, if any DMs are listening, you make you make that player reroll. Like, if you didn't see them roll originally, and they are coming out the gate with a 19 in strength, especially considering the only stat that's bad is intelligence. His wisdom isn't great either, but like, 19 in strength. Like, he has a storyline, he has a story explanation, so it might be excusable, but like, bro, that's the sign of someone who's fucking cheating. Dexterity 15, that's pretty fucking good, actually. Especially considering, like, yeah, he's a farmer's son or whatever, but, like, not literally, like, an innkeeper, but, like, why would he have that high a dexterity? I don't know. Constitution, that one makes sense. He can take a fucking pounding, I bet. Intelligence, that makes sense. He's not very learned. And even, you know, he's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Wisdom, he's also pretty sheltered, so it makes sense his wisdom would be pretty low. And charisma 12. I don't know. He doesn't, like, he's nice, and he's not off-putting at all. Kinda would be, but, like, 12 is, I don't know. He doesn't really exude charisma very often, but he is cute, so I guess there is an argument to be made. Let's check out his items. Undersized tunic and pants, because you had to qualify it, didn't you? Yeah, you had to fucking state, look at this fucker's thighs, and I don't mind it. I like the thighs. I'm gonna turn the music down a little bit. I feel like I'm talking at the same level as the music. All right, let's look at it. Oh, look at the pants. God damn it! You know what? I want to have a tunic. I want a tunic, like in real life. Ah, man. Most of the clothes he buys from the market district are several sizes too small for Sid. He is a big boy. All of his clothes are hand-sewn and adjusted by Sid's mother to fit him better, but they are still rather small and tight for his liking. Makes sense. I know that pain. I am 6'2", 400 pounds. I get the struggle, man. I need big and tall. Look at his glasses. Sid suffers from severe nearsightedness. Ooh, severe. You see, that's the tricky thing, having your fighter also have to wear glasses. Because if he fucking loses his glasses, very easy to do. As someone who wears glasses myself, I can testify to this. Okay, without these glasses, he can barely perceive anything further than a few inches from his face. He takes great care of his spectacles since they are rather pricey, and he'd rather not worry his parents with replacing them. Makes sense. That's the strange thing about introducing magic into a world, that, like, you have healers and stuff. So, like, is there magic that can cure chronic symptoms or lifelong illnesses, like blindness? If that is a thing, certain industries wouldn't exist, like glasses makers. But if it doesn't exist, then you have to put a limit on magic, which feels wrong, you know? Like, you're saying what can and can't be done with magic. Rusted claw tip. A rusty and aged fragment of what appears to be a claw weapon is the only keepsake Sid has from his birth mother, whom he knows little about. He keeps it with him as a lucky charm. That's something I do a lot with my characters. I give them some sort of memento. The problem is I never learn how to incorporate it into a story. Give them some memento of their tragic backstory TM. But I'm not good at integrating it into a story. So hopefully that rusted claw tip comes up at some point. All right, let's check out Artemy Joanna Gautier. Golden Retriever. Honestly, not very often represented in the furry games I've played. Like, it feels like once BoJack came out, everyone was like, well, if I put any kind of Golden Retriever in there, they're just going to call him Mr. Peanut Butter. 20 years old, multi-class cleric and paladin. Ooh hoo hoo. And profession Holy Knight of the Church. Okay, so here's the thing. Artemy is the chosen one, right? So it would make sense that Artemy has to have a kind of fucking, like, a natural story built-in reason why they would be higher in stats. So you can excuse her having 3 different stats with 16, which is above average in almost every set of rules. So, yeah, you can kind of understand it, whether or not it's a thing that you'd want your players to have. I feel like Artemy, if this was a D&D campaign, would be like a DM character. But, I don't know. Strength 16. Yeah, makes sense. Dexterity 14. That's less. Is that less dexterity than Sid had? I mean, it's comparable. It's around the same, which is weird because Artemy trains all the time. Weird. Constitution 16 makes sense. Obviously, you don't factor Constitution. You don't factor, like, armor into Constitution. So when she's not decked out in fucking steel plate armor, she's still a tough cookie. Intelligence 13. I don't know. I don't know if that's the way. Granted, I might be mixing up intelligence and wisdom. Those are the stats that I get mixed up the most. So it's very possible that intelligence is street smarts and wisdom is book smarts. I feel like it's the other way around. I don't know. I know in real life, I consider intelligence to be book smarts and wisdom to be street smarts, which would make 16 in wisdom for Artemy like a total fucking non sequitur. Non sequitur is not the word I meant to say there, but whatever. So it would appear that with this layout, since Artemy is very sheltered, that intelligence would be considered the street smarts in this rule set. So, still don't know why it's as high as 13. I mean, she's very versed in celestial magic, and her whole life is studying to be the best at this one thing. So you'd think that she would have a higher wisdom, I guess, in this. And then charisma 6, that makes total fucking sense. She has no social skills whatsoever. So let's move along. Naive and optimistic, yes. What are her items? Now, we already read the other, which basically means she doesn't carry a whole lot because her mother taught her to be poor on purpose. But let's check out the standard church knight sword and shield. Very nice. What the fuck is that symbol, though? A standard sword and shield set from the Holy Knights of the Church. The quality is rather low for church equipment. Why would you give her shitty equipment? Artemy has attuned to this set and can magically summon and dismiss them at any time. Really? That is fucking cool. She can summon her sword and shield. That's fucking cool. That's it. Very cool. Why the fuck would she carry a candlestick, though? Also, that's not a candlestick. That's a candle. A candlestick is the thing that holds the candle. That is just a melted fucking candle. A small used candle, not a candlestick, it's just a candle, worn to the last inch of its life. Small finger-like impressions line the sides of the candle as though it had been gripped tight, deathly tight by a young child. Artemy carries this in her pocket at all times as a solemn reminder. Ooh, I wonder what the fuck of, because you can't, you're just gonna fucking say that shit, and then, yeah, this is, the creator's chosen is poor, okay. A reminder of what, I wonder. So we've got our trio of tragic backstory TM, OCs, please don't steal. And then, of course, we proceed to chapter 2, which we've already read as of this episode coming out. So we're not actually gonna we're gonna go the fuck to the main menu. Yay. Shaboom. Ah, man. Okay, so all I did was read the fucking glossary, and I still managed to make 20 minutes out of it. So, if anything can be an indication towards my ability to yammer on, and okay, yeah, it's cool to know these things. I don't know why. See, that's the thing. You're choosing to tell me about them now. So, maybe they get updated every chapter, or maybe all the things that I've been told now will become relevant within the chapter. Maybe not to their fullest extent, because you don't want to pay everything off in one fucking chapter at the beginning of the goddamn story. But they were told to us now, so it has to be for a reason. Otherwise, that would have been pointless. So what the fuck could the reason be for telling us about the specific items and the specific parts of their backstories now? I think it would make sense to have, the things that set up the tragic backstory TM for these characters, because we've established the characters. Now we have to establish the plot, right? Like, you've got the story, which is your overall fucking the lore of the land, right? And then you got your plot, which is your individual, what the fuck are you doing in the story? And you've got your characters. They've already been established. You've had them interacting with your other main characters, your side characters, your important non-playable characters. You've established all of these things, and you can even see in the background, it sticks out like a sore thumb, the red triangle back there. Why in the hell would you put the ruby way the fuck back there while you're sleeping? But obviously it's just for artistic purposes. I'm just fucking around. But yeah, so I am curious as to why we were told those specific things and what they're going to come up with. Like, what is the story going to tell about those particular items? What the hell was young Artemy fucking holding that candle for? What was she hiding from? What the hell clawed weapon did Sid's mom have that he would keep that with him? And for fucking Cole, when are his roosters coming home to fucking roost, I guess? No, it would be the chickens coming home to roost. When is shit's gonna fucking come back to bite him? It's already started with Malice clinging to him like a goddamn wet sock. So that pays that off. Will the crystals pay off? I feel like probably not, because the chances of that store owner being a fucking main villain or even a relevant character, pretty fucking low. But who knows? Maybe that was the main villain. Who fucking knows? I guess all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and let this alone. Wait for the next update to come out. Sorry for skipping it in the first place. I didn't mean to offend anyone or make Shiro die on the inside a little bit like he said on Twitter. Fucking hell. So, with that all being said, if you want to play this game, the link to it is in the description. It's free but in development, so be nice. If you're confused by what the fuck this is all leading up to, I already played the episodes. They already played the story content that follows this glossary, and I'm not like retroactively making this in a different part of the series. This is going where it happened, goddammit. So those episodes are in the playlist for this game. In the description, along with the link to download the game, there are various ways to support me by either crowdfunding sources like Patreon or Ko-fi, whatever, or just following me on various social media platforms. You can also subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be notified when future episodes of this or anything else I play come out. And if you don't want to wait for future episodes of this particular game, I have linked in the cards up above playlists to other stuff I have already done that you may also enjoy. So, with that all being said, everyone, I'll see you when there's new stuff. I'm sorry. Bye. Fucking hell. Bye, everyone.